Hi. I wanted to take some time and talk about different relationships with different designs of people. When we refer to human design, there's 4 different types of people in the human design system. And that is manifestors, generators, projectors, and reflectors. And the name of my business is Synergistic Living. And so I think it's important to share with others what that looks like between types of people. And I hope to do that through the human design and how different types work together, but also how it works together with the gene keys as well, and how you may interact with someone who has particular gene keys in their chart and why they have the life experiences that they have. And so today I really wanted to share the story of a relationship between a generator and a manifestor. And for this story, I'm using an example of my life, which is I'm a generator, and Kaela, who is a manifestor. And I first met Kaela in a Facebook group called Passion with Purpose. And it was her Facebook group, and I really resonated with a lot of people in that group. She built this beautiful space for people to come in and find their sovereignty, to share with people things that they might not want to share with people out in the open on social media because they're scared to be ridiculed for it. And I mean, we all have that. I have that with this. I have those fears still too. So with Kaela, she provided this space where people could come in and talk about what lit them up, what their purpose was, what inspired them, as long as they maintained being able to, hold space for other people in the same aspect. It wasn't people who needed to come in and were seeking just help from others, but people who brought in power and shared their stories, and in return was able to receive, advice or alternative ways of thinking and doing things from the others in the group, right? Where they wouldn't have been able to do that without this space. So anyway, that's how I met Kaela. And then Kaela had this 5-day, be your own guru challenge. And forgive me, Kaela, if that's not the right name, but it was a, be your own guru challenge, where in 5 days she helped you uncover different ways to unlock your inner guru. And it was very exciting for me to do that. I think that was probably my first online challenge ever. I didn't even know what an online challenge was at that time, but I was very inspired through that and was able to unlock a few things about myself during her challenge. And if you participated all 5 days, then you would get a 30-minute call with her. And I did, and I got my call with her. And at that time, she was able to listen and talk with me through some things that I had going on with me, but it just wasn't a good time for a working relationship at that time. So I remained in passion with purpose, and at some point last fall, I would say probably about this time last year, I took a Facebook break. I really needed to step back from social media and give myself that piece of being in my own energy, because when you're in social media all the time, you're not in your own energy. You are getting bombarded with energies of perpetuously angry people all the time, super duper positive people all the time, those people that are really confused about whether they're happy or they're angry. I mean, it's not your own energy. And so I took a break. When I finally came back to Facebook several weeks later, Passion with Purpose was gone. It was archived. Like, she wasn't running it anymore. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? Like, where's Kaela? And I had done some digging and found that she had opened another group, the Cosmic Den. And I was going through some of my own life changes at that time within my relationship, and just had a lot going on, working through some things, but I knew I needed to do something, right? I had actually got my certification in being a life coach in January of this year, which, you know, I spent a lot of time and energy and work going through that process to get my certification in that. And when January rolled around, I was like, I just feel this need to do something. I don't know what, but I've got my certification in life coaching. I want to do something. And so I started reaching out. I finally found Kaela again. She opened a new group called the Cosmic Den. So I got into that group. I reached out to her. I messaged her. And then I told her, you know, I private messaged her and said, I think I'm ready to do something now. Like I have this fire. I don't know what to do with it. I need something. Like I need a coach. And so we worked it out and we became partners. She was my coach and I was her client. And so we now had this working relationship. And as we began working together, she released another program, the Cosmic Immersion, which I would say changed my whole life, literally. From what I knew of it then to what it is now, it is that Cosmic Immersion that changed a lot of things for me. Excuse me. So we were working together, and as we began digging a little deeper, and as I was going through the immersion, I was introduced to human design and gene keys. And Kaela had basically introduced me to two people who knew the system. And so I was able to go through that process of kind of understanding what my human design was with someone and what my gene keys were. And it was super powerful. And it was like this huge whoosh of energy, like, this is it. This is what I need to work with. This is what I need to help people understand so that they can understand what's next in life, right? And the beautiful thing is it wasn't until then that I realized the importance of a synergistic relationship. And Kaela is a manifestor and I am a generator. And so for some of you who may not know what human design is, you're okay, so what does that mean? And so what that means is, right, so as a manifestor, manifestors are those who move energy into action. This illusion that they can make anything that they want happen really affects their closed auras, and it can repel people away from them. And their adult strategy is to inform others of their plans before they take action, which is not a very comfortable thing for them. And it's not a very natural thing for them either. And so manifestors kind of struggle with that need but diswant for informing people of what it is they're ready to make happen. And it's really hard for a manifestor to perceive the potential collateral damage that can happen based on a decision they made or an action they took. And so if they can sit down and take time to kind of map out like what it is they want to do, who the individual people or relationships might be involved in that, what might happen if they do this or what might happen if they do that, then it can really help a manifestor achieve their signature of peace. And it's just a natural way for them that has become unnatural through the conditioning of life. And so as a manifestor awakes to that, they're able to stay in the natural flow of peace. Generators, I am a generator, but we have open auras. And our power is in the ability to respond to life as it happens in the moment, to respond to life as it happens in accordance to our authority. And our aura as a generator is very embracing. And if we are not in a place of responding from our sacral center, which is our what makes us a generator, then we may find that we're in a state of reaction instead of responding, and we're causing our not self frustration to rear its ugly head, basically. And so, you know, as a generator, right, when I have something to respond to and I feel my passion and my drive switched on in my body, I'm at my happiest. I need to be busy doing something that lights me up. I need to do something that I love and respect, that gives me passion. And basically, working with Kaela flipped that switch on for me. She helped me understand that I can have these goals and these dreams, and I can make them happen. And she helped me to undercare what I was batshit crazy about and turn it into something that not only I love, but that potentially someday I could live off of, right? Helping and showing others the truth of their human design and their genetic holograph. Like, it's so, anyway, as you can see, I'm lighting up about this. It's so powerful. So she really helped me put a plan in place to share with the world what I was able to unlock for them and help them in ways that maybe they're searching for, right? And with Kaela was able to share what has worked for her in this arena of getting her message out there, right? As a manifestor, that's what she does. And so she was able to share what worked for her, what's worked for others, the other clients that she's been able to help, and the other coaches she's worked with, right? And she was able to check in with me and ask me these really important questions that a generator needs to be asked, and often more than once, to be honest with you. And they're questions like, how does that make you feel, right? Like, she would ask me, like, this is what worked for other people. You know, I've seen this work for other people. How does that feel? You know, do you like that? Are you ready to do this? Or do you want to give that a try? And like, these are questions that a generator kind of needs to think about, well, or at least be asked, so that they can turn into their inner truth and be able to respond to these questions, right? So when you're in a relationship with a generator, if you want to be aware and conscious of whether you are keeping their attention, right, in the conversation, ask them clarifying questions. You will be able to help them connect to their inner truth through their sacral, their gut, right? And then they'll be able to respond in accordance with their authority. Some generators may have a splenic authority. Mine is an emotional authority, so it's through my solar plexus. And so I can't make decisions in the moment as a generator. I have to respond after such time that I have been able to work through the emotions of that question, right? I have to be able to work through, like, how does that really make me feel before I can answer that. And these are all things that you can learn more about in my 5-day mini course, or in a one-on-one, or on just about any other video that I have on human design. I kind of dig into like the different aspects of each type. But Kaela really helped me by sharing a vision, right? She gave me this vision and she allowed me to respond to it. Through her defined head center and her ajna center, she was able to share with me the ways of being able to think and conceptualize ideas, right? Make my goals into realities. My head and ajna centers are open, so hers are closed. So hers are a fixed way of thinking and conceptualizing. She's a manifestor. She can conceptualize ideas. She can think things through, right? And so she was able to share that ability with me when we were working together. There would be times we were working together and I would need more from her in that sense, right? I would need to recharge and have the ability to reconceptualize something, bounce ideas off of her, because she could give me what I needed in that arena with a generator manifestor relationship. And this is very common, right, with when you're working with others, for people to fill in your gaps when it comes to human design. Some people will have closed centers, then others will have open, and that's how these relationships work. They kind of bring these elements together. And what I was able to provide Kaela, right, in this relationship was my understanding of what a manifestor needs, right? When I could tune into that, I knew that as a manifestor, she needed time to recharge and she needed time to rest. And because manifestors need breathing room, they need this breathing room so that they can work on their message that they're trying to share with the world. And it takes a lot of energy to manifest these ideas and get that message out there. And she was able to provide me with enough things to stay busy. She was able to keep me busy between our meetings. And so I was trying to be very respectful of her time and her needs of rest and recharge. These are not things that she had discussed with me at all by any means. As my coach, she made herself available to me as often as I needed her. But because I had that understanding of this relationship dynamic, I would try to write down as many questions as I had, as many thoughts and ideas that I had at once, and provide those to her so that I wasn't constantly interrupting her flow of whatever she had going on in between our weekly meetings. So those were just things and ways that we were trying to make our relationship work, how it worked organically, right? And things to know about being in a relationship with a manifestor. We covered some about being in a relationship with a generator, but being in a relationship with a manifestor, some things to just remember and think about is, if you need a manifestor's help, don't ask for it, right? You can tell them about the situation you're in, and if they have the energy and the means to help you, they're just gonna do it automatically, okay? And there's no need to try to manipulate a manifestor into doing something for you, because all it's going to do is create chaos and you're not going to benefit from the outlash of it. Manifestors know what it is they want to do, and it needs to be their idea. It just has to be their idea. And then don't crowd them. Give them their space. Allow them to come to you without demand. You cannot demand their attention. I mean, you can try, absolutely, but it won't ever work out, and it'll be a short-lived relationship. And allow a manifestor the time to change direction, because you may have certain expectations of this person, this manifestor in your life, but they're not always going to be able to live up to those expectations, and they shouldn't have to. And I would almost say that none of us should have to live up to the expectations of others, but in a true relationship with a manifestor, it's a give and take, and it's giving them the space to be able to change course when they need to. If something you've done with somebody, a manifestor, reoccurringly for a long time, maybe became a tradition, or maybe it became, I don't know, a routine, has to change, right? Something else came up, they need to change direction. If you want to remain in this relationship with a manifestor and have it grow into something truly special, you have to give them the space to be able to do that. You have to be able to give them the space to grow and work through what it is they're working through. And I would say that's pretty powerful advice for a manifestor, because that's what they truly need to thrive, and their signature and authority and their type, right? That's what they need. And to be in a relationship with anybody, we have to be able to provide them the space to obtain what they need when they need it. Even if we can't give it to them, we need to provide them the space to do it. And so that is my example of a generator manifestor relationship. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I hope to be able to provide you with multiple different scenarios, how a generator works with a projector or a reflector, and how reflectors work with different types. And so my goal is to continue to bring out these synergistic topics to enhance your life and the relationships that you're in. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'd love to know your thoughts on this and how your relationships with generators or manifestors have been working out in your life. Have a great day.